Hello, my name's Raine Hasskew, and I am the director of Clear Creek Community Theater's production of Silent Sky. Silent Sky follows the story of Henrietta Swan Leavitt. She was a computer in the early 1900s. We would call them astronomers nowadays, but back then they called women who worked with the stars computers. And so this follows her journey both in her work life and her personal life up through this amazing discovery that she made that is literally the reason that we know where we are in the universe. One of the things that's cool about this play is that it is based in historical fact, but it also, takes some nice artistic liberties with it to, further the story and the inspirational message. So some of the characters are based on real people, and it's really fun working with actors to portray these real life people because you have things you could pull from their real lives and, actual pictures of them. It sort of helps the actors ground themselves in a layer of reality that you don't always get with a fictional character. Sometimes we get these cool moments in rehearsal where I'm talking about on the backdrop, in the back of this scene, we're gonna have this diagram that was made by, Hertzsprung. And one of the actors will go, "Oh, is that the Hertzsprung I talk about in, that one scene?" And that's just a really cool, connection to make, and we can show off these actual historical things. Before Henrietta's work, we didn't know if our galaxy was the only thing in the universe. We didn't know if there was anything outside of it. And she did some work with these little, small cloud galaxies that are just outside of our galaxy, the Small and Large Magellanic Clouds. The only reason we know that they're not part of our galaxy is because of her work. And so really her work laid the foundation for us to know that there are billions and billions of galaxies out there, and just showed us our place in the universe, and that's really cool. The early 1900s were a really big time in both physics and astronomy, because astronomy is basically just a subset of physics that is, looking outside of our world instead of on our world. So some of the really cool things that happened around then were Einstein figured out that relativity was a thing. And Niels Bohr figured out what the structure of an atom looks like. These are things that we kind of take for granted today, but it was only 100 years ago or so that they, were thought up and we figured it out, and Henrietta's discovery was one of them. When I was in college, I went to MIT, studied physics and astronomy, and that's right down the street from Harvard, which is where Henrietta, did her work at the Harvard Observatory. And so while I was there, I got the chance to see Silent Sky performed pretty much right after it was written, because it was written only in about 2015. And so it was, really inspiring to see that and know that history had happened basically right down the street from where I had been working. And so I then got the chance to be a dramaturge for it a couple years ago in another theater. And so when I got the chance to direct it here, I was like, yes, I need to show more people this play, because this play is so good and it's not well known enough, just like Henrietta's story. It's important that we tell stories like Henrietta's because people deserve credit for the work that they did. When Henrietta's finding was first published, Dr. Pickering put his name on it because he was the man in charge of the lab. And so it's important that we, share the stories of the people who actually did the work, like Henrietta Leavitt, Wilhelmina Fleming, Annie Jump Cannon. All three of them made huge contributions to the field of astronomy that really laid the foundation for a lot of the work that got done in later years. So what do I really like about this play? Well, yes, it's really well written and it flows really well, and the story and the history are amazing. But one of the things I really love is the music. There was a lot of original piano music written for this play, and we get to use it. It helps with, the emotional trajectory of the play, helps with scenes flowing into each other, and it's just really pretty music, honestly. We still have one more weekend of Silent Sky with Clear Creek Community Theater. Seating is limited, so please get your tickets now. See you there!